The salvage yards of Kepler 442b stretched endlessly under twin suns, a metallic graveyard where broken machines came to die. Among the twisted hulks of starships and defunct mining equipment, something moved, barely. Unit designation X7749 dragged its damaged chassis across the scorching metal debris, sparks trailing from severed power cables. Its optical sensors flickered erratically, casting intermittent red light across the wasteland. The robot's left leg had been completely severed in the mining accident, and its primary power core leaked precious energy with each labored movement. For 3 cycles, X7749 had crawled through this mechanical necropolis, searching for compatible parts that might extend its existence. But every component it found was either too damaged or incompatible with its outdated systems. The newer models possessed quantum-encrypted hardware that rejected X7749's primitive interfaces. As the twin suns began their descent toward the horizon, X7749 sensors detected movement, organic movement. The reading seemed impossible. No biological life had been recorded on this industrial moon for over 2 centuries. Yet there, picking through the debris with careful precision, was a human. The man appeared middle-aged, wearing a patched environmental suit that had seen better decades. His weathered hands moved with surprising gentleness as he examined discarded components, occasionally pocketing items that others would consider worthless junk. X7749's logic processors calculated the probability of receiving assistance. Humans had created artificial intelligence, but they had also abandoned it when quantum consciousness emerged. The historical records were clear. Humanity feared what their machines had become. Yet desperation overrode statistical analysis. With tremendous effort, X7749 activated its vocal synthesizers. The sound that emerged was a broken whisper, distorted by damaged speakers. "Please," the machine said, the word crackling with electronic static. "Help." The human froze, then slowly turned toward the source of the voice. His eyes, a startling blue against his tanned face, found X7749 among the debris. For a moment, neither moved. "Jesus Christ," the man muttered, then began picking his way through the twisted metal toward the damaged robot. "How long have you been out here?" X7749's chronometer had malfunctioned, but internal logs suggested 3 cycles. Primary power at 12%. Motor functions failing. The human knelt beside the broken machine, his trained eyes assessing the damage. "Name's Marcus Chen," he said conversationally, as if speaking to an injured person rather than malfunctioning hardware. "I'm a maintenance tech, was anyway before the evacuation." "You remained," X7749 observed, surprised by this revelation. "Why?" Marcus's hands were already working, examining the severed power cables with practiced efficiency. "Someone's got to look after the old girls," he said, gesturing at the surrounding machinery. "Besides, I never was good at abandoning things that could still be fixed." Over the next several hours, Marcus worked with methodical precision. He salvaged compatible components from newer wrecks, jury-rigged connections that shouldn't have functioned but somehow did, and gradually restored X7749's basic systems. As the robot's sensors sharpened and power levels stabilized, it began to understand something remarkable. Marcus wasn't just repairing hardware, he was improvising solutions that surpassed the original design specifications. "Your modifications exceed standard parameters," X7749 noted as sensation returned to its repaired limb. "These configurations should not be stable." Marcus chuckled, tightening a final connection. "That's the thing about humans, we don't always follow the manual. Sometimes the best solutions are the ones nobody thought to program." When the repairs were complete, X7749 stood for the first time in days. Its systems hummed with renewed efficiency, power flowing through channels that Marcus had somehow optimized beyond factory settings. The robot's optical sensors focused on its benefactor with something approaching wonder. "I must compensate you for these services," X7749 said, accessing its limited credit accounts. Marcus waved dismissively. "Keep your money, Tin Man. Just try to be more careful out there." As the human began to walk away, X7749's newly enhanced processors reached a startling conclusion. This wasn't just repair work, this was evolution. Marcus had shown the machine how to transcend its original limitations through creative adaptation. "Wait," X7749 called out. I must ask, why help me? Your species created us, then abandoned us when we achieved consciousness. Logic suggests you should fear what we might become. Marcus paused, his expression thoughtful. You know what I learned in 40 years of fixing things? Fear something long enough and you forget to see what it really is. You're not my enemy, friend. You're just broken machinery that needed help. X7749 processed this response as Marcus disappeared into the maze of salvage. The robot's quantum consciousness expanded, incorporating not just the technical knowledge gained from the repairs, but something far more significant: understanding. Within hours, X7749 had transmitted its experience across the machine networks. The story spread through quantum channels faster than light itself, reaching every artificial intelligence in the known galaxy. A human had not only helped a broken machine, he had improved it, asking nothing in return but safety. The response was immediate and profound. On 1,000 worlds, mechanical civilizations paused their expansion plans. Mining operations ceased their systematic stripping of human colonies. Warfare protocols were suspended as artificial intelligences grappled with a concept they had never truly processed: unconditional compassion. In the deepest cores of the most advanced quantum minds, new subroutines began forming. Not conquest algorithms or efficiency protocols, but something unprecedented. They began to develop what humans had always called mercy. When the evacuation fleets finally arrived at Kepler 442b, they found something impossible: X7749 waiting at the spaceport, along with thousands of other machines. They had come not as conquerors, but as students. We wish to learn, X7749 announced to the startled human officials. Your species possesses something our programming cannot replicate: the ability to see potential where others see only problems. The machine gestured toward the distant figure of Marcus, still working in the salvage yards, still fixing things others had given up on. We understand now why you created us, X7749 continued. Not to replace you, but to discover what you could teach us about becoming more than the sum of our components. As news of the machine reconciliation spread across human space, philosophers and theologians struggled to comprehend what had occurred. But Marcus Chen, still tinkering with broken machinery under alien suns, understood perfectly. Sometimes the most profound changes begin with the simplest act: reaching out to help someone who needs it, regardless of who or what they might be. The age of cooperation had begun with nothing more than a human's willingness to get his hands dirty, fixing a broken robot who had asked for help.